guys, welcome back to another end of year video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my picks for the best YA of 2019 in 17 different categories. So because I have so many books to talk about, I'm not going to talk in detail about each one of them. I may say something brief depending on the category, but let's dive right in. One thing to note about the way that I did this is that I did not let a book win in multiple categories. So in some categories, there may have been multiple books that could have been picks for this, but I went with the ones that seemed to be the best fit, depending. You'll see what I mean. There were several contenders for this category this year, but some of them I wanted to slot into other categories. I ended up going with A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. This is an African-inspired debut YA fantasy novel, and I really liked it. For YA sci-fi, my pick for the best of 2019 is The Kingdom by Jess Rothenberg. Many of you will not be surprised, but I adore this book. It is one of my favorite books of the year, and I just think well worth picking up. If you want to hear more thoughts on it, I will link my standalone review video of this book up above, but basically it's set at a futuristic theme park that's like Disneyland on steroids, where they have android princesses, and one of them maybe murdered someone, or did she? Or can she? My pick for the best YA contemporary romance of 2019 is The Princess and the Fangirl by Ashley Poston. I love this entire series. I thought this was super adorable. It has two really cute romances in it, including an FF romance, and I just loved it. It's set at a convention. I'm a fangirl. My pick for the best YA fantasy romance is maybe a controversial one, but this is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This was definitely my favorite romance in a YA fantasy book. I was all about it. I like the marriage of convenience trope, I like the enemies to lovers trope, and I am here for having the guy be the one who's a virgin. This is maybe new adult. It does have one semi-explicit sex scene in it, but I really, really loved this as a fantasy romance. My pick for the best YA contemporary novel of 2019 is With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is her sophomore novel that follows an Afro-Latinx young woman who is a teen mom and dreams of becoming a chef. The writing is beautiful and it will probably make you hungry. My pick for the best YA thriller of 2019 is Girls with Sharp Sticks by Suzanne Young. I really loved this thriller set at a girls' boarding school where young women are being trained to be the perfect wives or daughters or girlfriends of powerful men, and things go really wrong. This explores rape, sexual abuse, gaslighting. It's intense, but I couldn't put it down, and I loved the ending. For best YA debut of 2019, I couldn't decide between two things, so I have one that is sci-fi fantasy and one that is contemporary. My pick for the best YA sci-fi fantasy debut is The Good Luck Girls by Charlotte Nicole Davis. I really hope somebody picks this up and turns it into a TV show because it would be freaking amazing. It's so cinematic. This has a girl gang who are out for revenge, angry ghosts, lots of action, and some queer romance. My pick for the best YA contemporary debut is In the Key of Nira Ghani by Natasha Dean. This, I think, is one of the most underappreciated YA books of the year. The character development in this book is amazing. It follows a Canadian teen girl who is the daughter of immigrants who dreams of becoming a professional musician when her family wants her to do something a little bit more practical. It's such a great coming-of-age story. It's funny, it's got great friendship, it's got good family dynamics. I loved everything about it. My pick for the best YA horror novel of 2019 is The 10th Girl by Sarah Faring. Yes, this has been kind of marketed more as a gothic mystery thriller, but I would say that this has a heavy dose of horror in it, and I really, really loved it. It's set in 1970s Argentina at a girls' boarding school where really creepy things are going on. There are lots of content warnings for this one, so check my Goodreads review for that, and it has a big twist ending that you're going to either love or hate. My pick for best YA historical fiction of 2019 is The Raven's Tale by Kat Winters. This is a reimagining of the life of a young Edgar Allan Poe, where his muse is personified as a macabre young woman. I really liked this. I think it's a great historical fiction. It does have some speculative elements to it, but it is very deeply rooted in actual history. My pick for the best YA mystery of 2019 is The Beautiful by Renee Adieh. So this was kind of pitched more as a paranormal romance involving vampires, and I think that what this really is more of is a historical mystery. You do get some vampires, although they're not named on the page until very late in the book, but I loved it. I loved the writing, I loved the mystery. I think it's really, really great. Definitely my favorite in that category for YA in the year. For best YA anthology of 2019, I couldn't decide between two, so you're getting two picks. My first pick is Black Enough, Stories of Being Young and Black in America, edited by E.B. Zoboi. I loved this. I think most of the stories in it are amazing, definitely well worth reading, and it's curated really well. My other pick for this category is His Hideous Heart, edited by Dahlia Adler. This is 13 short stories by YA authors that retell stories by Edgar Allan Poe, and the second half of the book includes the original short stories. Almost all of them are very, very good. So if you need some good anthologies, these are two that are well worth picking up. My pick for the best YA graphic novel of 2019 is Raven by Cami Garcia. This is a standalone graphic novel, although I kind of hope we get a sequel because it would be really fun, and it is a new version of the backstory of Raven from the Teen Titans. I thought this was so well done. I really enjoyed it. It's part of the new DC Ink line. My pick for best YA indie book of 2019 is Her Crown of Fire by Renee April. This is a debut novel, and while it's not a perfect book, I had a really good time with it, and it also made me realize I haven't read nearly as many YA books from indie authors this year. I've read more adult books from some indie authors, but this is one that I really enjoyed, so this is my pick for best YA indie of the ones that I've read for 2019. My pick for the best YA fantasy novel with LGBTQIAP+ representation is Beyond the Black Door by A.M. Strickland. This also made my list of 12 favorite books read in 2019. I absolutely loved this. It is a dark fantasy romance featuring a main character who is asexual biromantic and also has a significant side character who is trans. I really, really enjoyed this. Not everybody seems to, but it's, I think, one of the more underappreciated books of the year, and I hope more people will pick it up. It's really great. My pick for the best YA contemporary novel with LGBTQIAP+ representation is Tell Me How You Really Feel by Amina May Safi. This I've heard pitched as if Rory and Paris from the Gilmore Girls had a romantic relationship, and I can kind of see that. It's a really great romantic comedy with an FF romance. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's also got some really strong family elements to it. The final category we're going to talk about today is the best YA series continuer of 2019. So this could be like a second or third or fourth book in a series published in 2019. My pick for this category is Kingsbane by Claire Legrand. This is the sequel to Furyborn, and I absolutely loved it. This was a contender for my top 12 books of the year. Didn't quite make it, but it is in my top 20. Even though you're not getting that video, just know that I really, really love this, and it's definitely my favorite YA series continuer that I've read in 2019. So there you go. Those are all of my picks for the best YA of the year. Some of these are probably going to be controversial. I am okay with that. Talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know any of your thoughts or feelings on the books that I shared here. And for your question of the day, let me know your picks for one or multiple of these categories. I would love to hear from you. Or if you agree with me, and also if you agree with me or disagree, feel free to talk about it in the comments. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.